What's up guys? I'm going to do a walkthrough on how I replaced my rear wheel bearings in my 2012 Toyota Sienna all-wheel drive. And the parts I used Detroit wheel axle bearings. I got them off Amazon. And yeah, I guess we'll see how long they last. I'll link an actual tutorial video and these wheel bearings in the description below. So we had to remove the wheel locks first because the key we had for these wheel locks snapped. And we just bought a bolt extractor kit off Amazon, which I'll also leave in the description below. So here's a picture of me removing the brake caliper bolts with a breaker bar. Yeah, whoever worked on these before really tightened them down. And keep in mind that this is my first time working on a car. So this is after I removed the rotor and bolts holding in the wheel bearing assembly. Yeah, this took forever. This was the worst part because everything was seized on here with rust. It was all rusted together. And here you can see where we used an air hammer to chisel apart the assembly from the car itself. As you can see, here's a new one compared to the old one. And yeah, it's been 136,000 miles since any of the rear wheel bearings were replaced. You can see how much rust the old one has compared to the new one as well. Putting the new one was pretty straightforward. We put anti-seize behind the bearing and on the axle splines so that they don't rust together again. And we put red locker on the bolts which hold the wheel bearing assembly. And yeah, right now you can see us putting the red thread locker on the axle threads itself. And don't worry, everything was torqued to spec. And here's a video of me torquing the axle nut to 217 foot-pounds. 217 foot-pounds. If this snaps, the car is torn. There we go. Yes, sir. That noise you heard was the torque wrench clicking. It didn't actually snap, so yeah, we were good. So yeah, this is after we put the rotor back on, put the wheel on, put the new lug nuts on. I will also link those in the description. Yeah, this is the left side. The right side is literally the same exact process, except we did have a few hiccups with the right side. So yeah, same process. Here's the bearing side by side, and again, the old one was in much worse condition. For this side, we also used the air hammer to get it off, but this side was more rusted on, and the air hammer dug very deep to pry the assembly off of the car. And because it dug too deep, the new bearing would not fit in. As you can see, the chunks of metals is in the way of that circular opening where part of the bearing assembly would slot in. And we had to hammer these chunks of metal out of the way and file it down. And boy, it took so much filing. This took forever. And yeah, also in this picture you can see the red thread locker and the anti-seize which we put on the splines and where the assembly goes. So yeah, after all that, I rotated the tires, put the new lug nuts on, and drove around for a bit. And after driving, I retorqued them. And after all that, I didn't really hear any wheel bearing noise after replacing them. So I guess that's good. Those are the right bearings to replace. And after everything, this job took 5 hours. But it would have been a 3-hour job if everything wasn't really seized on from the rust. And yeah, this is a quick overview of how I replaced the wheel bearings. And I'll link the parts I used in the tutorial that I followed in the description below. Yeah, stay tuned for updates on these Detroit axle wheel bearings. And I'll see you in the next one.